Okay, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the distributive property. Now, the distributive property is using multiplication. So, we're going to distribute what's on the outside of the parentheses to everything on the inside of the parentheses by multiplying. So, we're going to put the word outside here and multiplication here. There are other places that out in the world where you hear the word distribute or distribution center or distributive. So in this space right here where the cylinder's at, I want you to draw a picture of what you think of when you hear the word distribute or distribution. Think of what you see, and it doesn't have to be mathematically what you see, just in general. What do you see when you hear the word distribute? Like, if I said I'm distributing something, what does that look like to you? Go ahead and draw a picture right here. I'll give you a moment to do that. So here's my picture. I just draw a stick figure, taking something and handing it out to different places. I always think of Amazon. Amazon has a distribution center, and they ship it out to people that buy from them. All right, over here, we have some numeric examples and some algebraic examples. Now, when you first learn about the order of operations, they take you through the whole PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, to do parentheses first, and then everything else follows. But sometimes in the parentheses, you cannot do what's in there. For example, on this one, I cannot do G minus 9 because I have no idea what G is, so I cannot subtract 9 from it. Same thing in this one down here. I have no idea what X is, so I can't add or subtract this stuff inside of the parentheses. Over here, I can. Okay, so I'm going to show you two different ways to solve this to show why the distributive property works. Normally, you're told to add the 2 and 5 first. So I'm going to have 3 times 7, which is 21. Okay, but another way to look at it is using the distributive property. I'm going to take what's on the outside, which is a 3, and I'm going to multiply by everything on the inside. So I'm going to do 3 times the 2, which is 6. And then 3 times a positive 5, which is a positive 15. And that also equals 21. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. Those two ways are correct. One way is using the order of operations, with doing the parentheses first. The other way is distributing first and then adding those two products together. Same thing if it was subtracting inside. So if I had 9 minus 7 inside, normally I would take that 9 and I would subtract 7 from it to get 2. And then I would multiply that 2 times 4 and get 8. If I take this 4, which is the number on the outside, and multiply it by what's on the inside of the parentheses, 9, that's 36. And then 4 times a negative 7 is a negative 28. And 36 minus 28 is also 8. So again, either way you look at it, it's going to give you the same result. Now over here, like I said earlier, since I cannot subtract 9 from G, I'm going to go ahead and take what's on the outside, which is a 5, and multiply it by what's on the inside, G and negative 9. So 5 times G, I have no idea what G is, so I'm just going to write 5 and G next to each other. And then 5 times negative 9 is a negative 45. So my answer is 5G minus 45. That's all I can do. I can't combine those together because they're not like terms. One has a G, one does not. Over here on the bottom, it looks a little bit more difficult, but it's the same process. I'm going to take this 3 and multiply by everything on the inside. When I'm multiplying this, I'm only multiplying by the numbers here. Okay? Earlier, that 5 times G was 5G, because remember that G has a 1 in front of it, and 5 times 1 is 5. So 3 times 2x squared, 3 times 2 is 6. Attach your x squared. 3 times 4x, that's a positive 12. Attach your x. And 3 times negative 1 is a negative 3. So 6x squared plus 12x minus 3.